Boston Public Market is back in season with local producers currently selling food on the Rose Kennedy Greenway, and in July the market will have a new location that will be open year-round. To tell us what's in store is our guest from the Boston Public Market, the market manager, Tiffani Emig. Thank you very much for being with us, Tiffani.
Thank you for having me.
First of all, talk about what's out there right now on the Greenway and how that's at least a little different from past year.
Sure. So we actually just opened the Greenway Farmers Market, and we also operate the Dewey Square Farmers Market, which is just by South Station. This time of year, you'll find some really great plants. You'll find the early spring crops, things like green garlic and spinach, lettuce, rhubarb, which is one of my favorites. In addition to produce, you'll also find things like smoked fish and some baked goods. When Pigs Fly, the bakery, is there with great bread, and a few prepared things that you could pick up for lunch too.
The smoked fish, you know, I usually see that coming from other countries. I mean, we're doing it in New England at least?
We are. There's a great company that's doing it. They actually use locally caught bluefish and some other locally caught fish for their products. And also work with another farm nearby for herbs and other things. It's one of those fun things to try.
Now, I know we have farmland in New England and even in Massachusetts, but you know, I guess the common kind of thinking has been that we're sort of an industrial or even post-industrial part of the country. We're not supposed to be encouraging farming here. We're supposed to be able to take that from other places and use our land for something else. You're going against that grain in a way.
Yeah, we absolutely disagree. Yeah. We think that we want to go back to the traditional methods of knowing your farmer, being able to support the businesses that are right here in Massachusetts and in New England. We know that the farmers who are here are very dedicated and very strong, and there's a lot of potential. With the growing local foods movement over the past decade or so, it's really pushed the demand on local foods, and it's pushed our farmers to think about how they can extend their product season. So they're doing things like growing in greenhouses, pushing their storage systems so that they can store root crops longer and have things like apples and potatoes all throughout the winter. And doing some other really interesting things. Cornerstock Farm in East Boston is growing with artificial sunlight that they've created inside of shipping containers, so they can grow greens and herbs and all sorts of things year-round in an enclosed system. So we're encouraging and pushing our farmers to meet the local demand, which is just so high.
Farmers in East Boston, talk about that local job angle.
Sure. I mean, we think of farms and we think of these beautiful rural settings, and the majority of farms still look like that. But with growing advancements in technology, there are new ways to grow that are different from those traditional methods. So the shipping container example with Cornerstock Farm is one of those. They are very dedicated to the urban environment, and there are a lot more employees in the Boston area than there would be out in the center of the state. So it helps to locate the farms closer to where the jobs are.
What's driving the demand for this? Is it just because people like the taste? Is it the freshness, or maybe what we call sustainability? There's
a lot of reasons. I think that the movement that we've moved toward higher demand for local. I think that people like this community aspect. They like knowing that they are helping their neighbors. I think there definitely is a taste difference. If you've had a tomato from a farmer's market right in season and you have a tomato from a grocery store that's been shipped across the state or across the country, you know the difference in the taste. And I think there's an environmental reason as well. We know that food miles are an environmental detractor, and we want to help reduce the amount of miles that our food travels.
Well, another challenge here is you're appealing to people who are willing to spend quite a bit of money for something that's really good. And on the other hand, you have to try to make at least some of this affordable, right?
So that's something we've been really conscious about, and it's not that conflict is not lost on us. We're doing a couple of things to help make our local food accessible to all different kinds of people. One of them is that our outdoor farmers market accepts SNAP payments. Last year, throughout the 2014 farmers market season, our farmers collected over $20,000 in SNAP dollars. And there's a really great program here that matches up to $10 a day of your EBT sales. So when you go to the farmers market and bring your EBT card and get $10 of tokens, you use $10 and you actually get 20. So,
well, you've got to have a year-round location opening up in the summer, and talk about the mix of people here, because you're going to have all these new residents living in these new high rises along the Greenway. You're going to have the tourists and the people who work 5 days a week at least, right?
Sure, and we're really targeting the residents and the folks who work right within the neighborhood of the market. Our goal is to be able to be basically a grocery store. So think about the outer edges of your grocery store, the dairy, the produce, the meats, all of that deconstructed, broken down, and then reconstructed, all with different individual vendor stalls. So really, we'll have all sorts of basic staples, from your milk to your lettuce to your bread, and hope that people will stop in on their way to work, stop home on their way home from work, and also the North End residents and Beacon Hill residents and Charlestown residents will be able to come in and do their daily, weekly shopping.
How does this also affect the experience of public space on the Greenway?
So we have really great partners in the Greenway. We love the fact that it's basically our backyard. We will be in the next few weeks on Sundays working with the Greenway to loan out blankets so that people can come to the farmers market, the Greenway Farmers Market, rent a blanket and have a picnic. So buy some great cheese, buy some, hopefully strawberries will be in season soon, and then go hang out on the Greenway. We have these really fantastic green spaces right in the middle of our urban center, and we want people to use those, to enjoy them, to bring their families down, bring a date down, hang out and have fun.
She mentioned if people want to get some more information and keep posted, what's the best way to do that?
You should visit our website, which is bostonpublicmarket.org.
Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you.
From the Boston Public Market, Tiffani Emig.